So we are moving with determinants of price elasticity of demand. Chapter 5 Consumers and Incentives, Introductory Microeconomics, Semester 1, University of Delhi Economics major. So what are the elements which determines the price elasticity of demand? The first one is nature of the commodity. So if it is a necessity, as we discussed in last class, whatever the change in price may be, the demand will not change, because whatever the price may be, if you are a sugar patient, you need to buy, diabetic patient, you need to buy insulin, right? Without that you cannot survive. So whatever the change in price may be, the demand will not change. Next is if the nature of commodity is in like a comfort commodities, like what we say, electronic equipments, a slight change in the price, let's say a slight change in the decrease in the price of television or refrigerator or anything, or mobile phones, there will be higher demand increase. The demand will increase very much. Next, in the case of luxury equipments, it is less elastic. Okay, let's say the price decreases by 50%, the demand will only increase by 20%, because not all groups of society cannot afford that. So the demand will only increase by 20 or 25%. So that is how the nature of a commodity affects the demand. Then availability of substitutes. Demand for a commodity with large number of substitutes will be more elastic. That is, even a small rise in the price of commodity will induce the buyer to go for the substitute. Let's say Pepsi and Cola, both are substitute goods now. So if the price of Pepsi is increased by 10 rupees, no one will buy that then, because everyone have Cola with a lesser price. So next is income level. Elasticity of demand for a commodity is generally less for higher income level groups in comparison to people with lower incomes. Next, level of price. Costly goods like laptop, AC, etc. have high elastic demand. Demand for inexpensive goods like needle, matchbox, etc. is inelastic, because a matchbox may be 10 rupees or 11 rupees. So compared to the price of laptop, people might not care. Even if 1 rupee is increasing, they might not care. Okay. Then postponement of consumption. So commodities whose demand is not urgent, they will be highly elastic in demand, as their consumption can be postponed in cases of an increased price or vice versa. Then number of uses. When a commodity has several uses, then its demand will be elastic. When price of such a commodity increases, then it is generally put to only more urgent uses. As a result, its demand falls, and vice versa. Let's say fuel, petrol. It is used for generator, it is used for machines to run, it is used for vehicles. It is like when the price of petrol per liter was 50 rupees, you might have used your bike for many travels. But now, as the petrol's price is near 100 rupees per liter, you will only use your bike to travel to urgent situations only. Okay, that's it. Then share in total expenditure. Greater proportion of income spent on commodity, more is elasticity. So these are, the next is time period. Demand is inelastic in short period, because consumer find difficult to change their habits. If the price of the given commodity increase or decrease, so however demand is more elastic in long run, as it's comparatively easier to shift to the other substitutes if the price of given good rises. Okay. Next is habits. Commodities which have become habitual necessities for the consumer have less elastic demand. For a person who is an alcoholic, even if the price of alcohol increases so much, his demand might not decrease, because he is addicted to alcohol. He is he's an habitual for that, so his demand won't decrease. Next is cross price elasticity of demand. So this measures the percentage change in quantity demanded of a good due to a percentage change in another goods price. Substitutes at complements. Substitutes, we studied what they are. So next is complement. Complement means mobile phone and SIM, petrol and car, like that. This is how it is calculated. Percentage change in QD of quantity demanded of good X by percentage change in price of good Y. Policymakers use such estimates to gain an understanding of how taxation of one good affects the demand for another. Let's say if the vehicle tax is increased so much, then people will use less vehicles, purchase will go down. Thus the demand for fuels, petrol or diesel will also get decreased. Okay. Then if cross price elasticity is negative, then two goods are complements. The size of cross price elasticity determines the strength of the positive shift in your demand for headphones. So yeah, that's an example. That is, if the price of iPod falls, you want more of them, but also your demand for headphone is likely to increase. Okay, that's an example. Okay, we discussed as it for the cars. That is, here the fall in price of one leads to the rightward shift of the demand curve of the other. That is why there is a negative elasticity. The fall in price of one commodity leads to the rightward shift of the demand curve of another commodity, because more quantity is demanded for the other commodity now. Next is, if cross price elasticity is positive, then two goods are substitutes. That is, when the price of cola is increased, the quantity demanded of Pepsi will increase. No one will buy cola now. Okay, because they have good substitutes. Next is income elasticity of demand. It measures the percentage change in quantity demand due to percentage change in income. How is this calculated? Income elasticity is calculated as the percentage change in quantity demanded divided by percentage change in income. So this reveals how a change in income affects the quantity demanded of a good. The sign and magnitude of income elasticity are particular interest to economists. Goods are usually classified into two categories. One is normal and one is inferior goods. So let's say, so normal goods, like when income rises and consumers buy more of a good. So let's take the example of milk here. So normal goods means when the income rise, demand increase. But the inferior good means when the income rise, demand decrease. Vice versa, when the income of a person is decreased, when the income decreases, demand for this particular good, inferior good, will increase. So let's take the example of milk. We have full fat milk and skimmed milk. So when you have only 10,000 rupees as an income, you need to have a exact budget, because your income is so less that you can't afford much comfort goods or any luxuries or any top goods. So you'll just skip to this skimmed milk, which is comparatively cheaper than full fat milk. So when you have less income, you will go with skimmed milk. The quantity for skimmed milk will increase. But when your income is increased, now you can afford more things. So now you don't want to adjust yourself to something that you don't like. So now you are able to afford full fat milk. So when your income is increased, you won't buy any more. You won't buy any skimmed milk. You just go for full fat milk. So full fat milk is the normal good and skimmed milk is the inferior good. That's it. So 10% increase in income results in 2.3% increase in electricity consumption, by 21% increase in foreign vacation. Yeah, so that is you have 5.15. We just check this table of 5.15. Okay. So economists have found income elasticity useful for forecasting how income change will affect the overall economy. These numbers are important for policymakers because they help inform how proposed rules concerning income taxes might influence consumption of various goods and services. So goods with an income elasticity above 1 are called luxury goods. It's just given in your textbook. So yeah, that's it with this chapter. So yeah, nothing more in this chapter. We are done with chapter 5, consumer and incentives. So in next chapter we'll discuss sellers and incentives. It's again a very easy chapter. There you will be having elasticity of supply. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today. Happy learning. Bye.